Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast. I am your host, Niall. This is your morning brew. Kind of not so much a morning brew this morning, more a morning drive. We're here in the car en route to work. It's Friday. As always, all the lunatics are out on the road, but I thought I'd shoot the video on the way in for you. It's mainly motorway driving all the way into the shop and stuff like that in general, so it's not too bad for shooting videos. Plenty to unpack this morning and talk about. Will be a kind of a short show. A lot of stuff is quite condensed, but plenty of talking points. If you would be so good as subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, drop a like on the video, bringing these shows to you most mornings when there's conversation to be had. Don't have any drink at the moment, bottle of water here for on the way in, but no coconut water this morning or nice cup of tea in that beautiful Liverpool mug or anything like that. So let's get into the show here and let's chat first of all about Chelsea. And we're looking at Chelsea at the moment. Could have a very new look 25-man squad by the looks of things when Pochettino starts the season. Talk of plenty more players going out the door. We'll be talking later on about Conor Gallagher and links to him and all stuff like that. But it looks like there could be 6, maybe 7 incomings. We know they're about to sign the boy Caicedo by the looks of things. Big thank you to Arsenal, of course, from the Chelsea fans for that money. Absolutely crazy stuff going on there. We will be talking about Arsenal, of course. But yeah, crazy stuff going on at Chelsea. Very much a new look 25-man squad. Surely they're going to whittle it down. So listen, all the boys will probably fit in the dressing room this year. They won't have to change in the corridor. And when they're talking about the technical stuff, they won't have to sit on the floor. So that's always a good sign when you're fixing those kind of things up anyway. But yeah, lots of links out there for Chelsea and stuff like that. 6 to 7 signings plenty coming in. Chelsea with a big bounce back this season, I think, one to really keep an eye on. We seen last time when they finished in 10th or 12th what happened. They bounced back then and they win the league. So Chelsea one definitely to be watched. It's going to be a very different looking Chelsea this season with Pochettino. Man City look like they're about to move for Declan Rice. This is bad news for Arsenal, who have sort of the words they're using at the moment, dilly-dallied on the deal by testing the water and trying to go slightly cheaper than what expected by trying to test the market and stuff like that. Not the way to approach big money deals and stuff like that. We know Arsenal now back in the Champions League. They have a lot of work to do in order to be competitive on those fronts and trying to bridge that gap with City this season again, missing out, not narrowly, but missing out this season on winning the title. So they'll want to fix up and have another go again this year. But yeah, big things happening there. Imminent bid coming in from City. Hard to know what way this one is going to go. I think if City come in for you, it's very hard to be able to work under Pep Guardiola in that team with that kind of success and stuff like that. Obviously Declan Rice friends there, Jack Grealish and stuff like that. A lot of English lads are there and stuff like that. So fitting in wouldn't be a problem at all. The move to Manchester, obviously very different from living in London and stuff like that. He does have a young family. Arsenal have done a lot of the legwork on this, and as so many times we do see, as a Liverpool fan, we've seen it so many times with Real Madrid as well. You can go in and do so much of that transfer work, lay that groundwork and that foundation just for the bigger teams like City and Real Madrid to come in and go, yeah, thanks very much, I'll have that player. We've experienced it so many times. So let's see where Declan Rice is going to go. We are going to be talking about a little bit more shortly, because when we get into talking about Arsenal, there's fundamental things. I don't know if you watched the transfer show last night. Kyle Walsh was on last night. Great guy, big Arsenal fan, passionate, wears his heart on his sleeve when it comes to Arsenal. Had a lot to say last night. Well worth looking at the show about Arsenal, about Kai Havertz, about Declan Rice, about the absolute mess up on the jersey. Whoever messed up on that should be absolutely fired. That's shocking that wasn't checked on a number of different levels. But as Darren said, myself and Darren also had a good ding dong last night. We were talking about the mental side of the game and the pressure on these young guys. He was coming at it from elite sport kind of way and financial side of it and stuff like that. I was coming more in terms of the knock-on effect for poor performance and how it affects players mentally and stuff like that. And I still believe that some of Arsenal's drop off last season was really down to some sort of mental issues and stuff like that as well. You listen to some of the interviews from the boys and they looked like they were kind of mentally shot as well. They had been mentally worn out trying to fend off Man City, and as we know as Liverpool fans, we've tried it for a number of seasons and it's extremely mentally taxing on the players. And my point of view was, it doesn't matter how much you're paid, it doesn't matter whether you're on $1 million a week, 50 grand a week, 100 grand a week, it doesn't really matter. that's your mental effect on you and the pressure on you walking out to the pitch every time to have to perform, to get those 3 points and stuff like that, can be very taxing on players. And then you couple that at the back end when you fail, between racial abuse and fan abuse online and social media and how much you're exposed and all that kind of stuff. That's where we come from. But we did good ding dong back on it. Some people have called it old school RTE punditry with Dunphy and Giles and Brady and stuff like that. So it was great crack, and it was nice to have a bit of a ding dong. Went on a little bit longer than expected, so some of the points we couldn't get to, but yeah, it was good, well worth the watch. Go check it out, it's up there on the channel. Newcastle, my boy Corvo, who does be in the chat, drops in chat. I think he's also a wrestling fan as well. He hasn't told me that he's a wrestling fan, but I think he's a wrestling fan as well. He was on about WrestleMania last night in the chat as well. But great to have him in there in the chat and stuff like that. We definitely have to get him on the show. But he was talking about how he didn't want to chat too much about this last night, so we got into the conversation about the whole kind of, you know, the Saudi links and all that kind of stuff and what's going on, and how like Ruben Neves has gone to Al Hilal for 47 million. Looks like he's just going to get a return flight straight back to Newcastle on loan. So it's kind of where normally these things are kind of done in a certain way. It looks like it's being done now in kind of a blatant way to say, yeah, this is what we're doing. There's no rules in place to stop it. We're going to do it and we don't really care. But interesting one. But Newcastle at the moment making serious moves. These are the sleeping giants now with the money they have there now with the ownership. And you're looking at the boy Tonali coming in from AC Milan, that midfielder. He's going to be a heck of a midfielder in there. And that also coupled with Ruben Neves going in there. So you're going to get a midfield in there, folks. Tonali, Ruben Neves and Bruno Guimaraes. That's a serious midfield. Not only that, it looks like they could be making moves also for Sadio Mane. The talk is with Alan Saint-Maximin heading out of the building. I think his time at Newcastle has probably come. He's been a good servant for the club, but carries a lot of injuries and a lot of knocks and stuff like that. And again, you know, an explosive type of player who probably should have a lot more end product but doesn't. But Sadio Mane is coming into the building potentially, so you could see a front line in there. Sadio Mane, Alexander Isak, the boy Almiron, who's had a great season last season as well, really cropped up when they need him. Callum Wilson, no doubt, and players as such. So that could be their front line. Look at the midfield plus the option that they have. Could be a huge season for Newcastle. Do not sleep on what Newcastle and Eddie Howe are doing. And we did say, now that they're in the Champions League, they're going to have to really up that squad and the quality of that squad and stuff like that. And looks like they're making serious moves. Tonali would be an exceptional signing. About 60 million. Pretty cool. But a great signing. Eddie Howe really making moves and stuff like that. Shrewd operator Eddie Howe is, a fair play to him. Back talking about Chelsea again. Conor Gallagher. Looks like he could be on his way to Dortmund. They've been making inquiries, and it looks like he could be the boy to replace Jude Bellingham. So let us know your thoughts on that, Chelsea fans. Conor Gallagher potentially going out the door as well. We know they're shipping people out for fun at the moment, and they're going to ship them out in trenches. The other day 6 boys exited the building. How often do you ever see 6 boys exiting the building? So absolutely pulling up stuff there at Chelsea at the moment. As we said, a very different looking squad going forward with Pochettino. United have been sniffing around the Declan Rice situation as well. They're talking about like players plus cash. They were talking about Maguire and McTominay plus cash. Then there was talk of Maguire and Elanga plus cash. I don't see that being the deal that West Ham want. I know obviously if Rice exits the building, they would like to have a few players coming in, but I think if you're getting 100 million for the boy, I think you're potentially targeting replacements maybe at a higher level and stuff like that. I don't think Scott McTominay would be the answer to Declan Rice leaving the building, and I don't know how much of an upgrade Harry Maguire would be on their defence either. So I don't see that being a deal they want to do, and I think if the deal still stands at the 100 million or whatever it is, I don't think United then are in that conversation. Especially we're hearing that the boy Onana, the goalkeeper at Inter Milan, it looks like United might be in for him. His representatives flew into Manchester to open talks yesterday with United, talking somewhere in the region of 40 to 50 million, let's say. So if they're going to blow 50 million on a goalkeeper, the talk is they might have a budget of about 200 million. But but again, kind of slow in the market. They're seeing a lot of the people that they're linked with heading elsewhere and stuff like that. The effect of the takeover dragging on. The talk is that this is going to be another Glazer window. So by the time the takeover is sorted, it's probably going to be mid-August, by the time all the paperwork is tied up and all the other stuff they have to go through once they finally have accepted a bid. This is the Glazers just mucking United around again and stuff like that and all, you know. So it could be January before we really see the effects of the takeover coming through for United. So let's see what happens there. Top of that, people just don't know how to drive on a Friday. Sure they don't. It's the madness of a Friday. It's absolutely crazy. Just drive. Lads going across roundabouts and all sorts of stuff. But however, let's go back to the football. Arsenal, Thomas Partey is about to exit the building. The talk was he was going to go to Saudi Arabia. It looks like now he's going to be going to Juventus in a deal somewhere in the region of, I presume, about 40 million, I would imagine. But apparently personal terms have been agreed and he could exit the building. Now, that ratchets up the pressure on the Declan Rice deal. Are Arsenal going to go in now and just blow this deal out of the window and go, boom, there's the money, get the boy in, blow City away and get what they want? They're really going to need to, because I'm not sure where Arsenal are going to go. If you look at Arsenal at the moment, Kai Havertz coming in. A lot of the talk going around at the moment, Kai Havertz is going to be the guy to replace Granit Xhaka. Don't know where that came from. That's an absolute madness. Not only that, Arsenal fans yesterday talking about Kai Havertz in the same breath as Dennis Bergkamp. Now, people, that's where the conversation ends straight away. And as Arsenal fans out there, if you have lads like that in your Arsenal fan base, you need to be sorting that out, because that is absolutely shocking. Kyle spoke about it last night on the show. Absolutely shocking to be mentioning both those guys in the same universe, near alone nothing else. But where does that leave Arsenal from a midfield point of view is the real question. Where are they going to go? What's going to happen? You know, Partey gone, Granit Xhaka gone. So what have you got in there? You've Jorginho, Kai Havertz, Odegaard. That's going to be a kind of a weird kind of midfield. Certainly doesn't look like it's strengthening it from any point of view in terms of the Champions League and stuff like that. But a lot of work for Arsenal to do in the transfer market if the Rice deal goes to Man City. Where they're going to go and how they're going to fix up is going to be very interesting. Little story coming out there yesterday as well about Jurgen Klopp. Of course, we have to mention Liverpool fan. So we have to. Jurgen Klopp talked that he might have exited, but his agent came out and dismissed it. Talk is that the German national side is going to be the next port of call for Jurgen Klopp. Flick obviously has to go out the building, of course, as flattered to deceive, let's say, in terms of that German national team. Really, really poor over the last number of years in campaigns. But this will all hinge, I wonder, from a Jurgen Klopp point of view, of the soundings that are coming out of Liverpool with FSG, that he's not going to be given what he needs to do what he needs to do this summer transfer window. Could Liverpool be in a position towards the end of the summer where they're looking for a manager? Could Jurgen Klopp throw his hands up in the air and go, right, I've had enough of this, I'm out of here, I'm going to exit the building. You're not going to give me what I want, and I'm not going to go through the same season that I went through this year where I can't compete. You didn't give me what I wanted. The squad is aging. Some of it on him as well, where he was in denial of what he needed and stuff like that. I wonder, was that really just a masking for FSG and stuff like that? But let's see what happens with Jurgen Klopp. We know there's always been soundings around. We knew at the last contract renewal as well that potentially he could have exited the building. FSG playing a real dangerous game here at the moment with Jurgen Klopp. Fantastic manager, deserves better in terms of support and players and stuff like that and all. And who knows, let's see, maybe that's why a number of players still haven't exited the building yet, because there's a nervousness in the market about landing players. There is talk of Thuram coming in. I think a deal is being done there with Nice. It's just pending getting over the under-21 championships where he's playing and stuff like that. So let's see what happens. That boy should be coming in, but still plenty more work to do. I don't think McAllister and Thuram is the final pieces that are needed in order for Liverpool to get back to where they want to be. Also, Andy Robinson, he was talking, and he was talking about Klopp, talking about change has to happen and stuff like that. So what does that mean? You've got Robbo coming out talking about change has to happen. Now, you know that the thoughts this season might be going with a back central three and not with rights and lefts. So what does that mean for the likes of Andy Robinson, who's been tried in that position? Didn't turn out great, to be honest. And also Costas coming in, who kind of, like, this season by his standards has had a poor season. When he's come in, hasn't looked great either, has it? And you've seen that when Robbo was injured, when he comes back and he's fit again straight away, he's back in the side. Costas doesn't keep his position. But yeah, if we're thinking a back central three, then questions have to come in about that situation there. So let us know your thoughts on that as well. But Robbo coming out talking about change has to happen and stuff like that. Are we beginning to see the evolution of Liverpool at the back, the Trent and the inverted stuff and all that kind of stuff, different patterns of play, McAllister coming in? But what does that mean? Robbo talking about it normally means that the guy talking about it is the guy who's probably most concerned about it. But Liverpool fans, let us know your thoughts. As we said with United, the takeover stuff is continuing, dragging on and on and on. Let's see what happens. Reports coming out in East the other day in the papers that Jim Ratcliffe had lost the battle to get Man United. But you just never know. These things have been swinging back and forward for the last few weeks. We've seen Sheikh Jessamine, Redderson and company in the UK and all that kind of stuff. All the screenshots were coming out from different stuff and all that kind of thing. The Qataris last week looked like they were absolutely nailed on to get United. This week it's looking slightly different. But the net effect of all this realistically is a transfer window that's looking very frustrating for Eric Ten Hag. And it could start the season well short of what he needs in terms of both replacements and trying to get players out. But of course we'll report on that every day as it just sort of unfolds and stuff like that. That's it, folks. That's everything for this morning's morning brew stroke drive. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments. Let us know what your teams are doing, if there's anything that we've missed or anything that's going on. Seems a very condensed transfer window in terms of the spread of players that teams are being connected with and stuff like that. Seems like all the talk centres around Arsenal and their players and who they want coming in. Declan Rice is obviously the big news. Mason Mount at Man United, is it going to happen or are they going to look elsewhere? That seems to be the talk. Mason Mount, Declan Rice, Partey, Granit Xhaka, Thuram at Liverpool, Gundogan went to Barcelona, so obviously that triggers that Declan Rice situation. Obviously Kovacic going into Man City, he'll go in there and put that work rate in that Pep likes and stuff like that. But whether he'd be able to deliver at the Gundogan level is another question and stuff like that. So we could see a little bit of a slight transitional period for Man City as well in the thinking on what they are doing. Let us know, Liverpool fans, what you think as well. Sadio Mane potentially coming back to the Premier League and Newcastle playing the front line. But until next time, folks, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification and of course drop a like on the video. Talk to you again real soon.